So here's a little disclaimer. I'm terrible at describing books that I know absolutely nothing about. Hey guys, it's Adrian. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to bring you my most anticipated spring releases. I did one of these in the winter time that I can link up here for you if you're interested, and I thought that I'd bring these every quarter. So today I'm here to talk about my most anticipated releases for the months of March, April, and May. So let's get right into it. My first anticipated release is Hunted by Megan Spooner, and Hunted is released on March 14th. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Now, when I read the description on Goodreads, it's pretty close to the actual Beauty and the Beast retelling. And the reason that I wanted to read this one is because number one, I really love fairy tale retellings, and number two, I'm really excited for the Beauty and the Beast movie that's coming out. Anybody else? Because I kind of feel like a little kid again. Next up is a book that kind of surprised me that I actually put this on my anticipated list, because it's not necessarily a book that I would read because I'd be afraid it would be really boring and scientific, and I don't really like my books to make me feel like an idiot. But this one sounded really interesting, and it's called The Greatest Story Ever Told So Far, Why Are We Here? By Lawrence M. Krauss. And basically this is a book that talks about reality. What is reality? What is gravity? What does this all mean? It's very nerdy, and I am really excited to read it because it sounds really interesting. I can't go into describing it anymore because I'm not a science geek and I know nothing about science, which is kind of why I'm interested in reading this. Hopefully this book won't make me feel stupid. Next up, coming out on March 28th is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This is about a boy named Laszlo, and he's a dreamer, and he's been dreaming about this blue-skinned goddess from this lost city of Wee, which is a city who's been wiped out by the gods. It's basically an unknown city. It has no history, or we don't know anything about it. Let's put it that way. Laszlo has always been interested in the city, but he's really shy and not very brave, and so he never thinks that he really will. But one day, through one way or another, he gets the opportunity to learn about the city or go to the city, and he's raised with more questions. Why was the city cut off from the world? Why did the gods destroy the city? Why are there said to be no gods when he's been seeing this blue-skinned fairy in his dreams for so long? I know this is a bad description of the book. I'm really terrible at describing books that I just don't know anything about. But this sounds really interesting because it's like a war of gods and man, and I always think those are pretty interesting. And I've heard that Laini Taylor's writing is really beautiful. She's the author of the Daughter of Smoke and Bones trilogy that I've actually not read yet. I probably need to do that soon. But this one sounds really good, so I'm very excited to read it. Next up, coming out on April 4th, is The End of the Day by Claire North. Claire North is the author of the first 15 Lives of Harry August and The Sudden Appearance of Hope. This past month I read The Sudden Appearance of Hope and I really liked it. It was pretty good. So I'm really interested in reading this one. However, the description in this one says absolutely nothing of the book, but it has made me so intrigued that I think this is probably one of my top anticipated releases of this season. Let me read it to you because I don't know any other better way to explain it. Charlie gets a new job. He gets to travel and he meets interesting people, some of which are actually pleased to see him. It's good to have a friendly face, you see, at the end. But the end of all things is coming. Charlie's boss and his 3 associates are riding out, and it's Charlie's job to go before. Sometimes he's sent as a courtesy, sometimes he's sent as a warning. He never knows which. Doesn't that sound fantastic? Claire North has this ability to write stories that just make you think and really make you question things. So this one, it kind of sounds like the 4 Horse Riders of the Apocalypse. Sort of, but that's just a guess. I have absolutely no idea. But needless to say, I'm probably going to be buying this book the second it comes out because I'm really excited about this one. Moving on to May releases, there's a bunch of books that are coming out in the month of May that I'm really excited about, so I just picked a few. The first one coming out on May 2nd is Always and Forever, Lara Jean. And that is the 3rd book in the All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy by Jenny Han. This isn't a book necessarily that I would pick up on my own, but I had read the first 2 and I really liked them. They're YA contemporaries. I don't usually like YA contemporaries, but sometimes you just want to read some fluff. This trilogy is about a girl named Lara Jean, and in order to get over the crushes that she has had in the past on boys, she writes a letter and she hides them in her hat box. Until one day, her letters are mysteriously mailed to all the boys that she's loved before, and so the trilogy talks about that, and especially the first book, she's dealing with all the consequences of that. It's cute. It's more of a young adult book, but like I said, sometimes you just want to not think and just read fluff. So I am excited to read this one. And obviously I've read the first 2 books, so why wouldn't I finish the trilogy? Next up is my most anticipated release of the spring. It's probably everybody's most anticipated releases of the spring, and that is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This one also comes out on May 2nd. I'm sure that everybody by now and their mother knows what this trilogy is about, so I'm not even gonna get into it. If you have not read any of these books, I would suggest you pick up A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is the first book, and read it. Because when you are done, you should move on directly to A Court of Mist and Fury, which is so far, out of the 2 books that have been published, the best one. And if you do that, you will read it probably in like a week, and you'll have time to catch up so you can enjoy this new release on May 2nd. You still got 2 months to finish the series, so let's go. What are you waiting for? Next up, coming out on May 16th is Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. Renee Ahdieh is author of the Wrath of the Dawn duology, which I have read and reviewed. You can find that up here. This is an interesting book. It's about a girl named Mariko who is the daughter of a prominent samurai, and she's been sent away for an arranged marriage. On her way there, however, she's attacked by a group of rebels and she barely escapes. Of course, she wants to know who are these people that have a target on her head and why, so she disguises herself as a boy and she infiltrates this rebel group where she learns lots of secrets that will change her life. Sounds a little bit cliche, but I really did enjoy the Wrath of the Dawn duology, so I am looking forward to Renee Ahdieh's next book. She has great writing, it's always an easy read, and it's always an interesting story, so I'm excited. And last up for my most anticipated releases for the spring is When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. I probably said that really terribly wrong, I am so sorry. This one, again, I feel like this is the running theme of this video, is not a book that I would necessarily pick up. This is about 2 teenage American Indians who are set up to have an arranged marriage. One of these teenagers, Dimple, is a girl and she doesn't really like the idea of arranged marriage. She's not really interested in arranged marriage, and she's questioning the reasoning behind it. And the boy that she's supposed to marry, Rishi, is the exact opposite. He's all about arranged marriages and keeping culture alive and all the things that go along with arranged marriages. One day Dimple is offered to go to a program for web designers and she's really excited about it. And Rishi is also going to this program, so he gets to have a chance to woo this girl that he's supposed to be able to marry. I wouldn't usually read this one because I don't usually like YA contemporary. However, I am very interested to find out more about the American Indian culture, that arranged marriages are still happening, and to find out these both dual perspectives on either end of the spectrum. They like it, they don't like it, and I think its own voice as well, which makes it even more interesting. So I am going to read this one because it's just different. It's not like your typical YA contemporary. It's got a little more culture to it, and I really appreciate those kinds of books. Alright guys, that wraps it up for my most anticipated spring releases. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And let me know down in the comments what your most anticipated releases are, because I'm always on the hunt for a new good book. Thanks for watching guys, and see you next time. Bye.